the legend was the lifeguard service, but you were stationed North Avenue, and you guys were always rivals in rowing.
Absolutely.
With us. And I remember a guy by the name of what's his name? Yes, I do. He was your nemesis down here, Klinger. Ray Klinger.
He was very good.
He was a good rower.
Well, the rowing started here, intense, and they taught very good. Sam taught everyone how to row, and they were the best on the whole lakefront. So I learned from him and brought it to North Avenue Beach and tried to...
You were related to Sam, weren't you?
Yes. I'm his cousin.
You're Sam's cousin. And then you guys started the rivalry that between Tui and North Avenue was legendary.
Wonderful.
And you guys always beat us. I remember you beating us all the time.
Not all the time.
Well, I remember one year, what are you doing? Cecil beat the mill over here. You guys, it was really coming down to it. And Tui Beach won. I don't remember what year it was. You didn't look happy that happened.
I was never happy if we lost.
I think that's where I got the feeling that maybe, well, I don't want to win. Because you're a big gentleman.
But I finally came up here.
Yeah, you did.
I worked up here. Worked up here for 6 years, and one year we took our crew here and we took first, second, and fourth.
That was with Chris Serve.
And four-man team.
Right.
It was terrific.
There's actually a picture of that in that team in the book. What a bunch of brutes.
He was a good rower too.
Yeah,
not only smart, not only intelligent.
Who would have thought when I saw him as a kid, he looked kind of...
He put us all together.
Really?
He put everyone here today. It was wonderful.
Well, we're talking to Dave Cicero, a true lifeguard legend. What, I'm supposed to do this now? I thought it was a good microphone. We're talking to Dave Cicero, a true legend in the North Line from Juneway to North Avenue.
Are we on? Okay.
We're talking...
Yeah, you go ahead.
Where are these kids learning to be so uppity? I don't know. We're down here at the Sam Leone 100th birthday celebration lifeguard reunion. It was put together by Chris Serb and many other people. And we're talking to...
John.
I know, I looked.
Oh, okay.
We're talking... This gentleman here is a member of a family. How many kids?
21.
21 kids in the family. Mom always looked pissed off, and Dad looked happy for some reason. I don't know. His dad made about $3 million a year, and they couldn't afford bread. They got so many people in the family. You had a very happy bunch, though.
Yeah, we did.
It's a great family. And every year they put your picture on the cover of Sun Times or the Trib or something.
We were on the Tribune a couple times, yeah.
Well, I remember more than a couple times, Father's Day. So what's one of your great remembrances of being down here? Were you down here with Sam?
I met Sam once, my first year here. And I don't know if you remember the first day of the program, they used to have us all stand in line and pick up the big rocks. And Sam was standing down by the seawall there, and he said, "Spread out a little there, boys." And I met him. That was it. I don't think I saw him except here and there a couple times after that. But
the legend.
He was legendary.
Oh yeah.
Even when I was age 6 when I started.
He was quite an imposing figure.
The legend of him saving the pilot was, I knew about all that kind of stuff, and the program after that, it was a great program. I mean, we loved
did you ever get to ride in the Alert?
No, I never rode in the Alert.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
A surfer and the crew boat. I think I might be in that crew boat picture over there, 1964.
Oh really?
It looks like me. You got the same kind of haircut and everything. Of course, we all had haircuts like that.
I think I made it into one of those crew boat pictures too. I'll go over and show it to you later. John Burns. Which one are you in the family?
I'm the 6th to come along.
Out of 25.
21.
21. What are those 4 they don't talk about?
Yeah.
John Burns.
All right.
We'll talk to some more people in a minute.
Great, man.
Podcast.com. It's a new entertainment site on the web. Oh, here, yeah.
Oh, great.
That's us. We're talking with Ann Kavanaugh, and you have the distinction of being the first year the girls were allowed in the program down here.
Right. I wrote the petition to get girls in. Because my brothers came and they told me how much.
I knew you.
Yeah, and they told me how much fun they had with you and Bob, and I was like, well, why can't I come? I can swim at 220. So my dad said, write a petition. So I wrote a petition. All the little girls at Rogers Park signed it, and it was controversial, but they let us in, and we're still here.
Still here, and
we didn't ruin it.
you did ruin it.
We did not ruin it.
I know you didn't ruin it.
It's strong.
But I'll tell you something. If you walk over there and take a look at those films that they're showing, a lot of that stuff they don't do anymore down here.
Yeah, but they did all the stuff when we started in '71.
Still doing the kangaroo races and the jousting and all that?
The jousting, the going the metal pole with the grease pole with the dollars on the yeah. I know it's become politically correct today, but back then it was still.
I don't think they don't do the grease poles anymore. That looks
too much liability.
It looks like a moment ready to happen on America's Funniest Videos, I think. So what are you doing now?
I do what you're doing now. I'm a TV reporter.
Really, for who?
Fox.
Fox? Is that a station in Chicago? We did the celebrities in bed one morning, and yeah, and they hated us.
Well, I'll tell you, they had a baby.
I know, and they kept their marriage a secret, and
yeah, all that. But now it's out in the open, so I can talk about it.
I got something to say, okay? It's my best friend.
I'm in trouble. Yeah. So, Ann Kavanaugh, thanks. You having a ball down there?
Yes, I am. It's fun.
Are you seeing faces that you kind of recognize?
Yes. But a lot of people look remarkably the same.
Like me.
Like you.
I didn't age.
You look the same.
Can you still do the 220?
I think I could, yes.
Come on, let's go. It's only 58 degrees, so
I was in there yesterday with my daughter. Yeah.
It's in today. Well, Ann Kavanaugh, Fox News, reporting here from Dewey Beach, Leon Park, Rogers Park Beach. We got a little controversy brewing here. Apparently, Ann wanted girls in the program. Eileen didn't want girls in the program.
That's right.
And you got the girls in the program.
But Eileen, I got the girls in the program, but Eileen was the first to sign out, so she changed.
Yes.
So you came around.
I came around.
It was the
best thing I could do. It was. I could row better than the boys. It was wonderful.
Can you tie knots underwater?
Can I tie? I'm sure I used to. And Lisa Goldman.
And you were down here too.
Oh yes. Probably the third girl that signed up.
We're not sure who was first.
Harry Carey with this damn. You're the first girl who signed up?
No. We don't know. I don't think we know. Oh, you were. Eileen says she was, so she was.
I know I was. I know.
Now, are you in the program?
No, this is my daughter.
She's not in the program?
No, we live
Why not?
too far away. Live too far away.
Where do you live now?
Good mother would get up and drive her daughter every morning.
Where do you live now?
Well, in Skokie. It's not too.
Skokie? He's down here. He lives in Skokie.
No.
We're talking with the first females to be in the program down here, and of course, we all thought that was going to be the end of the program.
You were like the first girl. Weren't you just like one of the boys, or they never told
Was one of the boys.
It dawned on me that we were anything other than just guards.
We were treated like one of the boys.
You know, that one party.
We always knew who we'd tent with up at Baraboo. We'd always know it would be the three of us.
Of course, you weren't going to be with Jardine.
We need Kathy Rogers. Kathy Rogers was it? Yes. So yes, three troublemakers.
We're talking with the people who ruined the program for all the boys.
Oh.
You're at the Leon reunion. We'll be back in a minute. Sound? Where's the view meter at? Going? It's going? Okay, come on. We're going into the casino. The casino was a place where when you were a wise punk, know-it-all, big mouth, won't shut up, stealing other people's food, although you didn't really do it, and they couldn't prove it, they put you down in here. Come on. The rain's starting to stop. Okay. Okay, we got... Stay out of there. That's the men's room in there, okay? Yes, it is. Okay. Now, people don't believe me when I tell them about the casino. But the casino is the place. You remember the casino? I think you left a shoe down there. The casino. Now.
Is that dog with the one eye still down there?
The dog with the one eye, yeah. But those chairs have been down there ever since I was down here, and before that's where they used to put bad kids. I'm not kidding. I would know. I would know. Now, we're going to walk around and we're going to talk to some of the old guards and find out their memories if they've ever been in the casino. Did you ever make it down there?
Yeah.
What'd you do to get down there?
Just being, obnoxious to the staff members.
You were obnoxious to the staff members at Tui Beach?
So Tom Brophy.
Tom Brophy, you had brothers down here. My age, didn't you? What do you mean by that? No. But, yeah, there's the casino. You were down there just for miscellaneous nonsense.
Yeah. They put a hose on it, on the top, and they run it down on you, over you. It scares the crap out of you.
Does it really? I was down there 47 times in 1 week. And I put you there. Yes, I know. Come here. Now, Alan Hyman, come here, Alan. Alan Hyman, you started down here in 52.
1952.
Now, was this in use at that point still?
That's right. That chair, which is still sitting there, was old then.
Now, did you ever spend any time down there? Because you were a good kid.
I never did anything wrong.
Well, I'm putting you down there now, damn it.
I had you down there.
Oh, man, I was down there so much I had cable installed.
It was the threat of having to be down there that really kept everybody here straight. I don't think that there were but a handful of people that ever did time down there, but you were one of them.
I was regenerate.
Huh? Yeah, but he liked it down there.
Who went down there?
Tommy back. Yeah. Yes, he did.
We got to go find him and talk to him about it. You're going to get a shot. Don't go in now. I'm not sticking my head in there. Now, you're an old Leon Park kid? The Tui guard? What are you doing down here? Don't go.
I live in Rogers Park.
Oh, you're just a fan. Here, cover this. Look at that. You want to fall. Look at. No, let's leave it open and see who falls in. Well, we're going to go and interview people about the casino. Take one more good shot at the casino. Come on over here on this side. You get a little more light.
Dad ever down there?
Yes. Who's your dad?
Steve Goldman.
Steve Goldman's your dad? And you wondered if he was ever down there?
Uh-huh.
If you look really closely, you can see scratched in the wall, Steve. See it?
I think so.
You can't see it. We're going to go find some more people to talk to about the casino. Over here, Sam Leone's we have Sam Leone's nephew over here. Come here for a second. You knew Sam real well then. He was your uncle.
As well as one knows one's uncle. He was a very interesting guy. The thing I remember most about Sam was that at Thanksgiving, Christmas, he was always late for dinner at my grandmother's house because he was here making the ice for all the. That was one thing that wasn't mentioned in the article, which I thought every year he was always late, and very, very neat guy actually.
Yeah, he was. Well, he was like my second father down here. I mean, I don't know if I knew him that well, but I know that he affected me greatly. And we used to come down here and make the ice with him. They used to do ice skating on the field.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was on a Christmas. He was probably about 3 or 4 hours late. There was like about a 20-inch snowfall. He made it to my grandmother's house on the west side of Chicago, and he was out making ice. And that was just the way the guy came across to me as a kid, that he's always after doing something for the people at the beach here.
He was the hardest working man I ever saw. We were making ice with him one time. It was so cold out that oh God, it was so cold out that the snow, the spray from the hose was coming down, and before it hit the ice, it was freezing, and it was just bouncing all over the place. It was wild. So Don Leone, I didn't know we were going to have any family members here today. That's great.
Well, I may have a couple of my sons were going to come out, maybe, but with the rain and everything, I'm not sure they'll make it. And I guess Carla didn't make it, from what I understand.
I haven't seen her.
In fact, I need to get her address. I have a couple of pictures of her brother, and her father that my mother had that I was going to bring with, and then we found out she wasn't coming.
No, you weren't in the program, though. You weren't on here. Yeah, it's straight. Most of the kids I know from the program that were down here when Sam was here, it's such fond memories of it. It's almost like there was a family. And he really made it like a family atmosphere down here, except when he was kicking the crap out of you.
Yeah, the thing I remember, too, is I noticed one of the pictures had Tom O'Brien and his wife, Yvonne. They were at our wedding along with Sam back in the old days.
Tom's passed now.
Yeah, I heard, yes.
The good story about Tom, he was, he'd like to have, a couple of drinks now and then. And one night he left his car parked over here in the garage, and he couldn't get the boat out, the lifeguard boat. So DeRowan and a bunch of the guys went in and took his engine apart and left it in pieces under the hood and shut the hood. And here comes O'Brien out. He opens up the hood and he goes, "That's not right." But that's the kind of stuff that happened down in Leon. We really played a lot of pranks, but it was really a learning experience. And was he like the crazy uncle?
Well, he came across to me as a very calm guy. Another thing that was from history was one of his hearing problems. It was my understanding through my dad that he developed that when he was doing high diving. He was high diving at, I don't know where, but my dad said it was 100 feet, 125 feet. I don't know where you did that. No, it was someplace, I don't know if they did it in Indiana.
Turkey Run, Indiana. Are you an old guard down here? Uh-oh. Oh, wait a minute. The shells in World... No, I'll be back to you, Don. The shells in World War I is where the hearing problems came from?
Yes.
Where'd you hear that?
My father worked down here with Sam from the 1930 until the late 50s.
Wow. Were you involved down here at all? Were you a guard or anything? How long were you a guard?
I was a junior guard down here.
What's your dad's name?
Heine Schmidt.
Really, a boy? Okay, we got a chain going on. Yeah, we'll talk to you in a bit. We talked to Don Leone, Sam's nephew, and you were your guard down here?
No, I'm from Baltus.
From where, Bosnia?
Baltus, Anatolia.
Oh, really? So what are you doing down here today?
Fame, I can tell you. And I read reports here in the excerpts from the book which states that the kids used to holler, "Hey, Sam, look at me." Well, Sam came to look at us. We were the 1947 National Championship water polo team.
Oh, really?
6 lifeguards on the first team. 6 out of 7 wasn't bad.
Oh, wow.
Sam, I'll tell you a little story real quick like a bunny. We were standing right here on this beach. Sam had his back to the water. I had my face to the water, and we were speaking. I was about 17, and Sam wheeled right around, picked up a little girl out of the water. She was drowning. I never even saw it.
He felt it.
He had an instinct, that's for sure.
He felt it in the back of his head that there was something going on behind him. Boy, every time you talk to people about Sam, you find out one more interesting little thing. So we're talking to Scotty, and what's your name? Tom Schmidt.
Was your dad? His dad was a wrestler, 150 pounds, cauliflower ears out of Texas.
Yeah, you knew that.
Oh, I know Heine as well as I know anybody here.
He's a vegetarian.
Guard. Werner Gerhardt was his uncle. Bob Bruns. Absolutely.
Let's see, we're getting all these little...
You bet.
We're getting all this great information now tonight. Well, when you talk to the young guys, that's when you start finding out the true history of Leon Park and Rogers Park Beach. We're going to move now. You were a guard down here, you said?
Junior guard.
Do you remember the casino?
1940.
The casino, the sewer over here.
That was Sam's office.
Oh, really?
Which, if you saw him in there once a day, it was a miracle.
He said
he never came in.
When I was down there, we used to torture kids in there. I got tortured in there, and the other kids got tortured in there. And I'm finding out that it goes back 20, 30 years now. So we're going to walk around and see if we can find more people that have emotional scars from.
We speak about Sam, and I just heard something about him diving. We went down to Turkey Run, Indiana in the spring. Because the weather was considerably warm, it's about 160 miles south of here, and diving into Sugar Creek. This guy would go off the covered bridge way down into the water, which was a feat. And I can remember I stood there and watched him do it. He was my senior. He was born in 1900. I was born in 1919, so he was 19 years older. But a great guy. I'd love to shake his hand today. Sadly, we can't.
Well, be careful how you say that.
I know a few things about him I wouldn't want to shake his hand on.
You're not going to reveal the really good stuff? Okay, we're talking to Scotty. It was great. We're going to walk it.
Sam and Eddie introduced my mother and father before they were married.
So your mother and father were introduced by Sam.
My mom lived up at Rogers and Clark Street. My dad over by St. Jerome's Church. He lived a lot of times before they were married. He lived in the crew house when lots of guards lived in the crew house.
Yeah, I remember the crew house. It burned. The crew house burned down about 65, I think. It was sad.
It was condemned anyhow, though. They condemned it. They were getting rid of it because Sam moved into the little house back here. Hi, Joseph. That's my little brother.
That's your little brother?
You bet.
Were you a guard down here too?
Ardmore.
Oh, get out of here. I'm sorry, I don't want to talk. No, I'm kidding. Did you know Sam?
Yeah, my dad used to work with Sam.
Now, what are your remembrances of Sam and just the type of guy?
My first experience at the beach was when I was probably 2 to 4 years old, and Sam used to take me out in the Alert, and we'd cruise the lake.
That was a great boat.
It sure was. Fast. Let me drive it.
Oh, I got to drive it a couple times. We
6 or 8, I got to drive it.
He used to let the young kids drive it more than the older guys because the older guys really wanted to drive it.
Yeah, and I remember how, it was my dad's best friend.
Really?
Very, very good.
Did you ever jump off the back of it?
Nope.
No, he used to let us do that, too. What's your name? Joe Schmidt. And you were an Ardmore guard. Were you on your own team down there?
Yeah. Becker's boys.
Did you ever row against Cicero?
Killed him.
What?
Killed him. Ask him. Yeah.
I just interviewed him about that. He said he killed you guys.
No way. Never. No way.
Did you ever row against Klinger?
Those guys know how to play softball, but they can't row.
What about Ray Klinger?
We beat them all.
You didn't beat Ray Klinger. He was the champion.
Ardmore Invitation.
And Ray Klinger didn't do well there?
We won.
Individual. It was 6-man relay.
Boy, we had the best 6.
Oh, wow. Getting a lot of history here.
Yeah, he rowed against us, but we won all the time.
Well, we can only speak up to 1969. After that, maybe the beach fell apart.
Okay, we got to let some people out. We got to go around and find more about the casino. We'll be talking to you later.
Where are you going to be? Thanks.
All right. The boat, the Alert, that was rebuilt about 4 or 5 times, fiberglass, everything else. That boat originally was built in the shop right there. 4 people built that boat. Sam Leone, Heine Schmidt, Ray Harlan, and a fellow by the name of Bill Hendrickson that ended up as a cabinet maker in Southern California. They built that boat originally and it was named the Alert, which was at that time the fastest boat on the lake.
Now I heard he recovered that boat from the bottom of the lake after it had burned down to the gunnels and sunk. Is that you remember it?
That I don't remember.
Well, it's in the book. They got a story about it in the book.
Okay. But in that shop, they also built rowboats, canoes, trailers. They built everything they needed. They built in that shop.
He built all those green fiberglass canoes that were in use until maybe 5 years ago.
I used to do the jousting off of one of those back then.
You couldn't do that today with kids. You'd have lawsuits up the potato.
Yeah, well, you know what? Don't fall in the boat. Fall in the water. It's softer, that's all.
We're going to walk around here and talk to more of our...
That's what we did, though. We had a ball.
We're going to go talk to some more of our maniacs. Okay. More of our Leon Park maniacs in a minute. Now, what's your first name again?
My name is Steve. How are you?
Steve Dooley.
I know you're Pat Hall. I'm Steve Dooley. I'm from Rogers Park. to Wisconsin in '69. Moved back here for a couple of years in the '80s, and now I'm living up in Trevor, Wisconsin on the lake doing just fine.
And you were a junior guard.
Guard guy. Yeah, the thing I could remember about Sam was that he had to use the sign language, and there were certain guys who talked to him, certain guys that knew what he was saying, and certain guys that didn't want to know what he was saying.
Did you hear a story about how he used to talk on the phone?
No, I didn't. How did he do that?
Well, we found out how he did it, but in an article that was in the Tribune a couple weeks ago, Rizzo would be on a phone, another
I worked
phone.
with Tony Rizzo for 3 years. Tony was a good.
Is he down there?
I don't know. I haven't seen him since Gannon.
No, he's down here somewhere. I heard he was down here. And he would be over there mouthing the words that he heard on the phone, and Sam would read his lips from across the room and pretend that he was listening on the phone.
Alan Hyman and you guys used to do that a lot, too. There were a lot of guys that stuck right near him to know what was going on all over the North End.
Now, did you ever get in the casino, get put in the casino?
No, I never got put in the casino, Pat.
Well, you were a good kid?
I didn't know what the casino was.
You don't know what the casino was?
Oh, my God, what am I getting myself?
In the casino now? So tell me about you wanted to tell me about something.
I wanted to tell you about my mom and dad and how you can go through the room over there and see pictures of them. And now they moved up to Wisconsin, made a successful business out of a campground up there. Jack got it from what he learned here as a kid and what he learned through business, going up into the ages of maybe 50s or early 60s, and then he moved up there and made a good business up there. So
from his experience,
did all right by me, and so did my family.
From his experiences here at Leon.
Yeah, all the knot tying and all the painting. Or
So have you ever used that underwater knot tying?
No, I've never done that. I was in Hawaii once, and I was 100 feet down, and I almost threw up, and I still came back from it.
Oh, really? Yeah, because you know how to drown from being down there.
No, not to drown. Okay, Pat.
Okay, nice talking to you, man.
All right, man. You guys take care.
Yeah. Hey. What's your name?
Howie Infante.
Oh, my God. What, were you about that tall last time I saw you? You know who I am, Pat Hall?
Pat Hall.
Oh. Yeah. Did you ever? No, I'm not evil.
Very evil man. Oh, I remember. It wasn't that long ago.
Did you ever go in a casino?
Never the casino. I was a good kid.
Where are all these good kids coming from? I don't remember any.
Infante brothers were, you know.
Oh, the salt of the earth.
Salt of the earth.
Yeah, yeah.
We, you know, did our thing, listened, paid attention, listened, did our games, and went home.
Really? So it's kind of a. Looks like I didn't beat anybody up.
Right.
Okay, cut. Okay. No. So yeah, enjoying yourself down here?
Oh, having a great
now
time.
you didn't know Sam. You were too young for that.
No, I didn't know Sam, but
You got the
I remember the locker room. The locker room, it hasn't changed a bit.
Remember the boxing thing that used to be up over here?
It still smells the same.
Yes, for sure. Put the smell-o-vision on. Oh, you want to see?
Don't you think we ought to have wrestling matches?
Yeah, I think we're going to later.
Wrestling match?
We are going to have. Yeah. Now, listen here. This is Monica. You might not want to follow us in here because there's a guy peeing over here. So wait till he gets done. Were you a program guard?
No, dig this. I was a lifeguard at Lila Beach from.
Oh, you were one of those guys.
Yeah. Hey, see, from 74, 5, and 6, and it was the best time of my freaking life.
My name's Pat Hall. What's your name?
Mike Wolf.
I'm not shaking that hand.
God damn it!
Oh, you wiped it off on the clean shirt.
No, what?
No, yeah, I know. I'm worried about that. No, don't show me, please. No. Are these your shorts from when you were a guard? Oh.
I was in the lake.
It's cold, huh? I know, it's cold.
You know why?
What?
I go to the lake because I worked on the lake, and that's the way it is.
You got to go in the water if you get near it.
Duh.
Now you got to pee. Oh, you had to pee. Did you flush? It says please flush. Come here and get the come here for a second.
Flush and fuck you.
I want to wait, hold on a second. This is and here's if this isn't out of a Nazi. They got some of these bricks out of Hitler's bunker. No, that's a great. It's just it was a great place to shower. What, you gonna pee? I know who you are. I just read your thing. You got to pee?
Not with the camera in.
No, come on, base. We got a macro lens. Okay. This is the gym, the Nathan, where we held all of our Halloween parties, and when it rained out, we would come in here and watch films all summer. But I see Bob Diamond over there. Come on. We're talking to Bob Diamond, one of the old Leon
Mike, America, free ping pong, free library, gas price.
He didn't do too well after Leon, of course.
Not good.
So, he got hit with an oar. And we're
I can't say word. Bad word.
You can say fuck.
Oh, I can say Fitzpatrick. He's a good friend of mine. Help fuck up my life good.
So what are your remembrances of it? What's your favorite remembrance?
My favorite remembrance is being with this guy, giving a kid a sand Rudy in this gym. No. And then the parents came back and said we gave his son a perianal infection.
Yeah, right, but we didn't actually give him the Rudy. One of our leaders did, right?
No, we loaded at least 45 pounds of beach sand into his crotch and watched some young XY chromosome maniac give him the old jam ski up the crevice ski, and that was it for his poop ski.
Yeah, and he put out a sculpture later on. It was Picasso.
Yeah, it was called Walnuts in Autumn.
So, remember the office visit when we went in to talk to Blackmore about the sand Rudy, and he put it all in clinical terms?
Yes, it was a. He said he put it in aggressive terms. He said it was some sort of forced anal. I don't want to take it anywhere.
No, he said it was a forced injection of sand in the anal area.
Yes, the orifice, something to that point.
Yeah.
And at that point, he lost me because I only knew about basic spiroflagellates and paramecium.
But the kid was there in the office, and he didn't want any part of us being ratted out.
Not me.
No, they didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing.
No, not those two murderers. They're going to kill my dog, quick. Oh, no.
So you were also head of the program for a while after I left.
I had the program from 78 to 88. In fall, the Halloween party, which was the last original one with apple bobbing with coins and going through flour and sandbag tossing and ball tossing and all sorts of games of dexterity. Adios. This is my third time back in 12 years.
Yeah, really. Now, you remember Lord Flanig.
Lord Flanig is a legendary boat builder, producer, barbecue sauce maker, and also...
Lanig's barbecue sauce, that's some good
Lanig's barbecue made out of festering dead fish, and also Nick's El Primo hot dog stand by the lake. Any of the drippings out of his dumpster box would be mixed to this desk. It's horrible. It's worse than any Thai fluid you've ever experienced.
Now, we haven't even talked to anybody about Nick's yet. But Nick's was a hot dog stand that was right here on we'll show you where it was later, on the concrete overhang over here. And at lunch, it was hot dogs.
Yeah, he's also world renowned for using heated up Pennzoil to dump on popcorn. He asked, "You want any extra butter? Hey, come on over here." No, it was an enjoyable.
He was a good guy. Yeah. You sound a little bitter.
I'm not bitter. I was just gastrically. Now I have gastroparesis from all the years of eating Nick's food, and also the claw master.
She took the calluses off before. Yeah,
it was Margaret. Margaret and Nick.
Margaret would serve the hot dogs like a praying mantis.
Everybody said I was a really fast guitar player. No, I only played a guitar after having 2 buttered popcorns.
Bob Diamond. You were in on some of those leader trips when we went up north.
Yeah,
remember Frankie Crateville?
Frankie Crotcheville. I remember the name well. Yes. And he was tortured. I hear that right now he remotely has the mental character of a Bic lighter.
Yeah. Well, I met him on the L one day. He was fine. He was talking about Alan Hyman and stuff. And
why isn't he here?
Maybe he is. We already got a shot at the casino, man.
Yes, that kid logged a lot of hours in the sewer. And it was always a proud moment when I could always pull him out. Alive.
Then there are 3 chairs down there now. We just looked.
Oh, my God. One's meant for me. Uh-oh.
All the seats are rotted off.
Ooh.
Talking to Bob Diamond now, world famous musician, and what else?
Raconteur, Men Among Men, and also leader of gastric problems.
Don't you have your own fragrance now?
Yes, I do. It's called Kokti Rod Leva. It has the kick of an Aborigines armpit, and it can knock a buzzard off a crap wagon at 100 paces.
Bob Diamond, my old buddy. Thank you, man.
See you later. Hey, David.
Talking to three people. What's your name?
Casey.
You?
Will. Caitlin.
And what's your last name?
Colleran.
You're a Colleran? I should have. You're a Colleran?
Henriksen.
Huh?
Henriksen.
You're a Henriksen. Well, I was at Tui Beach in Leon Park with your father, Pat. Both. I was with Tim too. Is your dad Tim also? Pat. I was down here with your daddy 30 years ago. What?
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Now, how come you guys aren't junior guards?
I don't want to be one.
You don't want to be? Why not?
I don't want to.
You don't want to row a boat and go swimming?
No, he wants to. He wants to.
What do you want to do?
I don't know.
You don't know. If you don't know what you want to do, you should come down here and do this. And how come you're not a junior guard?
Because I never had a chance to come to the program here.
Why? Where do you live?
Prospect Heights.
Prospect Heights! Get back down into Rogers Park. What are you, crazy or something? Now, how come you're not a junior guard?
Because he lives in Wisconsin.
Well, you must do a lot of swimming up there, though. Yeah. Do you swim a lot?
Yeah.
Where do you swim?
I swim at pools, and I swim over in here.
Well, your dad's probably told you stories about the Tui Beach, right?
Yeah.
Did it sound scary?
No.
It sounded like fun. We had a lot of fun. I want you to get a shot at this earring over here. If he came down to Tui Beach with his earring, you know where he'd end up? In the casino. Do you have an earring too? Oh my! Look, we got an earring over here too. If you wore that earring, two of them. Do you have one? No, you're a man. And you're a good girl. And I don't know about you, buddy. We're talking to we're talking to children of Leon Park guards. This is a wonderful thing. I know, I saw it. So you guys say goodbye, fat guys.
What?
Goodbye, fat guys.
Why?
Because that's what we are, they're fat guys. Goodbye, fat guys.
Goodbye, fat guys.
Thank you. What are you, in the witness protection program or something? I'm Pat Hall. You probably don't remember me, but I've got a couple of permanent bruises on my arm from both of you guys. No, me? So when were you down here, Larry?
I started here probably in 50, and then left in 62.
Yeah, you did some damage to me, and you were down here. You were in charge down here, weren't you?
I was on the junior lifeguard training program under Sheeman and Sam, but I was a lifeguard from from 57 to 62.
So you were down. You don't remember me? No. Here. Maybe this will jog your memory. No. Oh yeah. Okay. Now, what's one of your fond memories of Sam?
Well, Sam picked me as the last one in 1957 as a lifeguard when I was only 15 years old. You were supposed to be 16 years old, and all the lifeguards he selected, but he needed one more, and he says, Marshall, he says, come here. I passed my test and everything, and I qualified, and I was only 15, so he picked me. And
that's a pretty good, big honor.
Yeah, I was a lifeguard for 6 years after that.
And he saw something in you probably that he didn't see in the other guys.
Well, I don't know what it was, but I went to his wife's nursery school. Mrs. Leone and Mrs. Block had a nursery school when I was 5 years old.
Where was that?
Right here on Sheridan Road. It was in a little storefront, and I remember having milk and Salerno Butterfinger cookies. And then I went into the program, the junior lifeguard program.
Did Sam ever stop by the daycare center at all?
Not that I remember, and if he did, I didn't know who he was at the time. And then I went right into the program, and I loved it. I mean, I was a swimmer in high school and a champion swimmer at Lane Tech High School, and lifeguard with Larry and Dick Sheeman and
Dick Blackburn. All those names are my past. Now, when you look back on this, did you think it was a turning point or a thing that helped you spring into life a little easier?
it didn't so much for me as it did for my brother. My brother was in a junior lifeguard training program and passed the lifeguard test with me one day. And when I was 15, he was almost 17. And in the middle of May, we had to take the lifeguard training course in Lake Michigan when the water was 55 degrees. So O'Reilly, the captain, said to all the boys that qualified, okay, now go out and swim around the buoy. Well, I'm shivering and shaking. I'm 15 years old and skinny, and my brother, he says, you know, Marshall, I don't want to do this. I'm scared. Well, I finally got up enough nerve, and I did it, became a lifeguard for 6 years. He left that day, walked down Glenwood Avenue, saw a sign on the window at a drugstore, delivery boy wanted, started working there during the summer, after school the next year, and became a pharmacist because of it. He's a big pharmacist today, only because he got that job and only because he didn't become a lifeguard.
People in the program did well, and people who left the program did well.
I also had a major foundation here with the camaraderie amongst the kids, and we played baseball and contests and you know, friendships, and there were a billiard table and pool table in there, and the films. I mean, you can't manufacture those memories, and it was a normal thing to do, and so I loved it. And
obviously, these friendships last forever.
Well, we all know each other. I remember Dick Dooley and Larry Dooley, but I lived only a block west of here on Touhy Avenue, and so it was a natural for me. I mean, it wasn't like you had to be driven any place. It was a natural thing to do, and I loved it.
Now, have you been in the water yet this year?
No, I haven't been in the water for a minute.
It's freezing, man. Well, we're talking to Mr. Marshall. I don't know why I was going to call you another name. Marshall Sheeman. What do you want from me? How are your eyes? We're talking to Marshall Schifrin down here at the Leon Park 100th anniversary of Sam's birth, and great lifeguard gathering. This is unbelievable down here today.
Happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
Now we got to get Dooley when he gets done. And who are you?
I'm a Leone.
Huh?
I'm a Leone.
You're a Leone.
I'm a Leone.
What Leone are you?
I'll tell you, but we can't film it out there.
Why is that?
What are you filming it for?
National Cybercast Entertainment.
All right. It was my grandfather's brother.
No kidding. And why can't we film it?
Pardon me?
Why? What'd you do? You just got out of jail or something? Yeah.
I'm one of 9 children, 9 Leones. I have 4 little children myself.
Really?
And we came up here to pay, homage to the guy. He was the man.
Yeah. Did you know him?
He died when I was 5 years old. So some of the kids and myself, we were up here for the beach dedication after he passed away. My grandfather, who was his brother, lived till 1982. So, yeah, and then their sister also. She lived till early 90s, in her late 80s, and it's all my family. So.
Now, Carla, you talking about Carla?
Not Carl. Emily. Emily was Carla was Sam's daughter. Sam's. I can show you a picture here if you want. That's Sam. That's Sam. His brother Carl. His brother Joe, who was my grandfather, and that's their father Philip. And my father's over here in the background. So my mom and dad are out here, and 4 of the grandchildren are out here. And
how old is this photo?
There's not a date on it. My father might have a better guess. I'm not sure.
Well, what's your name?
Brian Leone.
Brian Leone. Well, I have to tell you, I'm proud to meet you because he had an amazing impact on my life. I was one of Sam's boys. Yeah, I was down here when he was down here, and it turned me around from. I could have gone a serious bad direction, and Sam toughed it out.
A lot of people say he did that. So yeah, he was a good man. That's why we come out for him.
You just never know how much effect you're going to have on people, and he really his effect.
And there's a little Leone.
Another Leone. Are you a baby Leone?
What's your name?
Olivia Brooke Leone.
How old are you? How old are you?
5.
5. And do you know that would be her great?
My great-great-uncle.
Did you know how great your great-great-great-uncle was?
No.
Well, someday you have your daddy tell you about Sam Leone because he was something special. Do you have any? Oh, wasn't that cool? Your name's on the park. It's also, I think it's still on the roof too over here. If I'm not mistaken. But do you have a cookie yet? Do you have a cookie? Well, you got to go get a cookie. We're talking with some of the Leon clan. Thank you.
I gotta keep my old picture.
Yeah. Oh, here.
My baby.
We're talking with the newest Leon person to come down to Leon. Now, what's your name?
Say, my name is Kelly.
Now, whose kid is this?
This is Pat.
This is Pat Colleran's daughter. And he.
Two other daughters, Bridget and Caitlin.
Having a lot of kids helps you keep a good memory.
You're so right.
You got to remember all the birthdays and all the names.
Yes, I do. Uh-huh.
Now, we were just talking before. How did this program help your kids and you?
I really don't know what I'd have done without Sam Leon Beach. It really kept my sons busy during the summer. They learned to swim, they played ball, they wrestled. Oh gosh, they did everything boys were supposed to do. And then when my daughter became, I think she was on her way into 6th grade, then it was open, the program was opened up for girls. And my daughter was one of the first ones to register. She just loved it. And she also became a lifeguard, like her two brothers. Sam Leon Beach was a lifesaver because I had 8 children, and it was nice to have 3 of them down at the beach.
You know, they weren't going to get, if they were going to get into trouble, they're going to have to deal with either me or Diamond or somebody who is not going to let them go too far off the beaten track.
That's right, that's right.
We took them there.
That's so true.
And some of those leader trips we're not going to talk about.
Oh, there were many things that they told me as I became a grandmother, what they did. And I said, I'm happy you didn't tell me at the time these things were happening. But they all turned out real good. Uh-oh.
What'd you say?
She'll take a bite out of it. Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
So now your boys they're all strapping young men, and they look like they're all successful.
Yes, they are. Pat is a police officer for Winnetka. He's also on the SWAT team, and he's a firearms instructor. And Timothy is an architect, and he's doing well. And Eileen is a registered nurse at Swedish Covenant Hospital. She's in charge of policy and procedure. Terrific, and all the other kids are doing well too. So, but thank you so much.
And I think Sam had a lot to do with helping the kids have a focus and a direction.
Oh, definitely. What? She's crying?
Well, okay. Don't worry, you'll get to come to Leon Beach someday.
Someday.
We're talking to Penny Collar and Pat. Have a good one. What a great lady. It's amazing how this program changed so many lives. Turned people into nice guys and productive members of society, except me. Molly, come over here. Now we're going to get the other side. Take off your sunglasses.
No.
Come on.
Why?
Please, just for a second. We're talking to Molly Burns. Now, were you in the program? You're in the program.
I was way too old to be in the program. They didn't let women in then.
You were mad about that, weren't you?
Yes, it's like my biggest disappointment of my life. For real.
How many? You have any kids?
Yes.
Your brothers were in the program.
Yes, my brothers and my younger sisters.
Who's your younger? Which younger sister was in the program?
Margie, Susie, Risa, KK, Rosemary, Sharon.
Of course, from the family with 21 children.
Jean, Liz, Patty.
Now, how was it being in that family?
It was great.
I know I used to come over to your house, and you guys ate in shifts.
No.
Well, I remember.
It was an urban legend.
Now, I also was over there one time. Wasn't it true that some of the family slept just hanging from the ceiling?
Another urban legend.
Oh, man, you're dispelling all my...
There were many of them. What can I say?
So how's the family doing?
Well, my father died a year ago.
I know. I'm sorry. I was very sorry to hear that, too.
Me too. But other than that, everybody's doing great.
How's show business?
Show business? I'm a college student, actually.
You're not a movie star?
Hell no. Oh, can I say hell on camera?
Hell no. We're talking with another of the Burnses. Maybe we'll scrape over for a few more of them before we leave. Thanks
Thank
for
you
taking
very
the
much.
glasses off
yes,
there.
yes, no problem.
You were a little guard down there, and you were smaller then. Turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. So what? Give me a remembrance of Sam Leone. Or no, you didn't know Sam because you were too young for that.
No, I wasn't big on Sam, but the program. As a leader, lifeguard 5 years, the infamous casino.
We already did a piece on that.
Yeah,
Did you have to go in the casino?
I was thrown in there once or twice.
My brother said he never got put in there.
Howie, no, everyone loved Howie. I was the rogue.
Yeah, the casino was kind of nice. So you had a cable TV down there.
Oh yeah,
That was
nothing
beautiful.
but the finest.
We lower a six-pack down for you. Oh, maybe you weren't down there then.
Not that young.
How'd they get you out?
I think a lot of screaming.
But it was fun, wasn't it?
It was great. Nothing
Okay, great.
like it.
No, it wasn't like torture.
No.
There's no suits in progress, are there?
No suits in progress.
Yeah, well, it was a great time down here, though.
Oh, if I lived in Chicago, my kids would be in the program.
Where do you live?
Kenosha, Wisconsin. So we made the trip down.
It's not that far of a drive to bring them every day.
No, every time we hop in the car, it's an hour drive. So every
Deal, an hour one way.
Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Love to come.
Mr. Infante, thanks for talking to us.
Oh, no problem.
We're going to put together a little snippet of all this stuff for them.
It'd be fabulous.
We're looking for John Skipper, Dave Skipper. John Skipper. Can't seem to find him anywhere. He's hiding on me somewhere. I know he's around here. This is the office. This is where Chris picks up all the women that. Oh, there's Chris now. There's the famous Chris Sherb. He's in here. I signing books. Here, let me get over here. Let me talk to him for a second. The infamous Chris Sherb. Well, this turned out okay.
This turned out okay. A little bit wet, a little bit rainy, a little bit steamy. It's tough work, signing books all day. I'm getting a little bit sweaty. Yeah, it's a little bit of writer's cramp. But it's all right. It's all right.
Who just came across the radio there?
It's some guards messing around. Yeah, it's the emergency radio signal. The meow, meow, meow means I need a couple of cops down here in a hurry.
What happened to the professionalism that was here when I was here?
It is professional. It's just a code so that people listening on their scanners, they won't get too crazy. They won't send.
How come you're not hopping in action? He meowed 3 times.
I'm off duty today. I am on book signing duty today.
So if someone's out there dying and being beat up, you're off duty.
If someone's out there dying, my 17-year-olds can take care of it.
Okay, Chris Sherb, who wrote the fantastic book. Hold the book up so you can see it on camera.
Sam's Boys.
And we've talked to a lot of Sam's boys today. The Mcdonald boys are down here. Yeah, you didn't see the McDonald's?
Oh, no, I haven't seen them.
They're around here somewhere. They're sitting a lot, but they're here.
Yeah, this turned out to be a real good event.
Yeah.
Glad that you're here. Glad that Dave's here. Glad that we're all here. It's turning out to be a nice day and a real good tribute to a real great lifeguard and a guy that left a real outstanding legacy for all of us. Hope we can live up to it.
I don't put that kind of pressure on me.
I hope we just have a good time.
We're talking to Chris Sherb, the writer of Sam's Boys and a great guy.
Thank you, Pat.
All right.
I'm Bill.
You're Bunny. You don't remember your name?
And had too much to drink.
Brian. Now these three. Now you were down here when I was down here. I don't think.
No, I'm before any of these guys. He never made the big.
He never made the big. He never made the what?
He never made the bigs.
These two gentlemen here really had a great impact on my life, especially this guy here.
I could say we touched on his way too.
You were one of Sam's guys, and you were one of the toughest guys I ever met in my life.
It's because Sam raised me.
Sam raised you to be tough, right? But I mean, you were the first guy I had contact with down here that really I identified with.
Well, thank you. I'm complimented by that.
Well, you should be, and you probably a lot of other kids were helped by you and Bunny. Now Bunny was the other side of you.
Bunny was a little loose.
Well, I think I heard Sam say he was.
God damn McDonald! God damn it! You stupid son of a bitch!
A little rage here coming out. He said you were wound tight but tied loose.
Something like that.
Now, what are your favorite? Some of your remembrances of Sam?
Just
the one that sticks out in your mind.
Just that he was always a tough, a hard.
man, but he was soft as a grape inside because he was so gentle and loving.
And you were going off about this article in the paper the other. He was really incensed about the Tyrant of Tui Beach label.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So were you. Now, how come you? I'm going to go over here. Oh, how come? How you doing there, Phil? How come you? Well, we all know why, but tell us your feelings about the Tyrant label they laid on him in the Tribune.
It was stupid. No, really. I mean, the man was not a tyrant. Man, he was a tough man. He was a bear to work for, but he was not a tyrant.
And he created especially this generation right here, this group we have here with Jeff and Skipper and all these guys we're going to talk to in a minute. This is a group of maniacs that he put out that are not in jail yet. I mean, he made us. We were tough guys. We jumped off the back of the Alert going 60 miles an hour. We boxed with blindfolds on. We tied knots underwater, and we all came out of it pretty level-headed people. Wouldn't you agree? Except for Jeff.
For the most part.
Don't look at me like that.
Some of us failed. Others succeeded.
Okay, I'm going to tell someone I don't know. And what years were you down here?
Probably the late 40s, early 50s.
And so you knew Sam when he was really in his robust, when he was a rabble-rouser.
What I remember, when we used to go on trips to the museums and the sand dunes, Indiana dunes, and things like that, he goes in that old Woody station wagon.
All right.
We'd bring our lunches with us, and he'd take us to places like that.
Get your hand off my ass, okay? That was you. Now the McDonald's, where's? Hey, don't compliment me now, buddy. Wait till the motel. So where's your other brother at?
Beats the hell out of me. He has the same invitation I had.
Because I saw him. He came into where I was playing, and he didn't. Well, when we see him again, then where are you living now?
Long Beach, California.
Where are you living?
Palos Heights.
Palos Heights. How come you never come and see my band?
I didn't know about it.
Now you do. The fat guys. Pat All and the fat guys. How come you never see my band?
I've never heard of it.
I thought we had a relationship.
It's going downhill real quick.
We're talking. What?
You were Fat Pat even then.
I was Fat Pat, and thank you for reminding me of that. Now I remember why. He just said he's getting very lonely. Now I remember it was the one thing about you I didn't like. No.
The only thing you didn't like.
No. You guys toughened me up, and everybody else that came in contact with you. It was a great time we had down here at Leon. And we're talking to McDonald brothers here. Now we're gonna. Are we okay to go over here now? Okay. Keep going. Now. Park for the lifeguard debacle. You're getting a little bleary-eyed too, Reynolds. No, he doesn't drink. He's been sucking the sweat out of his shirt all afternoon. Now, your name, sir?
Mark Reynolds.
And how long were you down here?
I was down here about 8 years, from 58 to probably 68.
What's one of your fond memories of being down here?
Well, I liked the program. It was very good. Rubbed off on me.
Hey, watch it. We weren't going to talk about that.
Became a swimmer in high school in the Y. And know your sister, Kathy Hall. And the program was excellent. If I had kids today, they'd be here.
Now, I was talking to someone else about this. Do you think it switched you from the wrong path in some ways?
Never. It helped me in the right path.
No, I mean, it switched.
Swayed you, yeah, absolutely.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a custodian.
Yeah, what do you custode?
High schools.
Oh, really? Where? What high school?
Up in Racine, Wisconsin, I live.
Oh, really? Racine. Cool.
And Sam Leone was a very good friend of my dad's.
Oh, really?
And my grandfather, Harry Potter. And was this Harry Potter? Yeah.
Wow.
No relation, but wish it was. No, that was my grandfather's name, Harry Potter.
Really? So you're not going to sue?
No.
Oh. Now, and you're. Wait, I gotta talk to the guy.
Craig.
And your name, sir?
Craig Tyke. Hi, fat boys. How are you? Craig.
Now, Craig, you were down here, but I don't remember you being so big.
No, I was a little French fry. Yeah, I was probably about 7, 8 years old. You pig. 7 to 8 years old back then. As far as the program goes, I'd For anybody that wants their children to be somewhere in the summertime where it's positive influence for camaraderie of young kids, athletics, anything. It's completely positive, and it was a beautiful thing. I was about 2 or 3 years with my brother and myself. Oh, my ear, you fag. He ruined the whole interview.
Get over here, Bern. No, here we go.
Dick Devine will go on tape, too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. This is getting out of control here.
Go after Jeff. Okay. This is the brother of Mark, so he'll go after him. Danny, you go after Jeff.
I'm not in charge.
Sorry, Pat.
Finish your thought, however short it's
anyway, definitely a positive program for children, without a doubt. Otherwise the kids are, mischievous, you know how kids get. So this is something where they can be watched.
And be mischievous together.
Yeah, exactly. Under control of other mischievous adults, exactly. But as far as memories goes, I always remember the fact that Sam Leone was deaf, and that freaked me out. I always said, "Oh my God, that guy!" He was like, he was like the myth, But being deaf, it was like, my God, it was like freaked me out. But I thought that was really interesting, and the crew boat was incredible, and the signs that they put in the water, no swimming, undertow. My God! Now you fag.
Nobody heard of that.
You fag. You don't believe that? You don't believe that? I swear to God.
Come over here. Jeff, come here, will you?
I swear to God in my life,
come here.
They had signs. No swimming undertow.
Now,
and he's saying no.
Wait a minute. Was there an undertow?
When you're a little kid and you see signs like that, it's mind-blowing.
You didn't have a mind, did you, Jeff?
No. I was
Klingberg.
I was heavily sedated. I don't recall.
Now, God bless him. He's my brother.
Give me a memory of this place.
Well,
really good, Jeff. Okay. Now, give me a memory of this place.
My memory is also of Pat back on vacation many years ago.
We went on vacation with my family.
Yeah. My fondest memory was when usually Sam would come out from the guard shed here at around 11 o'clock, 11:30, and he would yell louder than any individual in the world at one of his first mates or captains about how they weren't doing something right. And it just reminded me of like Catholic school and being really afraid.
Right, but you heard that foghorn of his, and you snapped to attention wherever you were.
I also remember, like, I'd be down at Howard Street Beach early in the morning. We'd go to Howard Street because it was closer to our house, and you could hear Sam start the alert all the way from Tui Beach here, all the way to Howard Street where we were, and you could hear that guy roaring down the lakefront, checking everybody out to make sure they were doing what they were supposed to do.
And up on him with that
there was no BS about the guy. He was held in high regard.
Yeah,
we all loved him, and look how wonderful we all turned out.
Yeah, right.
And my grandfather goes back and used to hang out with Sam Leone, and my grandfather and Sam used to go out on the boat, on Sam's boat, of course, and they would make my father swim out to the boat, but they'd be making the boat go back and back. So my father would never, hardly be able to make it to the boat, and he was wondering why he couldn't get to the boat. And then they saw the terror in my father's face as he was, like dying out. And then they'd lift him into the boat laughing. They were trying to build him up as a swimmer. Sure. And my dad said he was like a wet noodle.
Or a foliage.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another memory.
We're talking to some of the wonderful. Now, Burns. Yeah, we're going to get to. Don't worry.
Take the big guy. Take the politician.
Yeah, he's one of the big guys on the beach.
Okay. You know better than me. I was just down here for 15 years. Danny, you and I were put upon down here because we were kind of large.
Right.
But we did more down here than any three of these punks.
That's right. Skiing, sailing, swimming, jousting,
scuba,
you name it, we did it.
Now you were in the crew boat that fateful day when we took it out with the motor in it, and as we were coming back, a northeaster blows up.
Yep.
And we got all these little kids out. Wait, what? We'll get him. He's not going anywhere. And we couldn't get the boat back in.
Nope.
We had 7-foot swells. Are they leaving? I know. I'm going to get their own. And we had to surf that thing back onto the beach. You remember that?
It was awesome. Yeah, it was 5-6 foot waves.
We had all the fat guys. Well, not the fat guys.
In the back. The weight in the back.
Chunky guys. We all got up in the back so that thing wouldn't flip over this way because it was what a 40-foot boat.
Yeah.
Was it 40 feet? What? Yeah, 40 feet. And we made it in okay, but man, did we get chewed out.
Yeah, well,
That's what happened when you broke the rules. You got chewed
It
out.
was a leader day. It was a Saturday, I remember, and we got our butts reamed out. So what's your fond memory of this place?
I think a lot of the off-season stuff. I remember boxing in the old Coast Guard station. I remember hanging out in the loft up here, fixing boats, things like that, helping to make ice in the wintertime. Good place.
What are you doing now?
Well, right now I work in pharmaceutical development, but
We'll have to talk later.
It's my second career. I spent 15 years working with teenagers
Oh,
before
really?
I did this.
So you probably from this place is where you got that.
Absolutely.
Sure. Danny Burns.
Thank you.
I want to say one thing about these medals.
Oh, yeah, get his medals. Get 'em.
These medals are probably from 1959, 60, around that year, and 2 of them are for football, the first place and second place midget football team, and then one of them's a volleyball medal. And I've held them and kept them all these years, and I think they really all belong to my brother.
I was going to say, the guy you took them from is probably looking for them.
And I stole them from him, but I'm taking all the credit. But these are like heirlooms, and I don't know. They're cool. So
Yeah, they really are.
This is one of my fondest memories right here, just having these medals still after all these years.
You wear them and try to pick up. You wear them and try to pick up chicks now.
Picking up a lot of chicks with the medals. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're gonna go grab Divine. Let's go. Come on, we're gonna go get the head cop. Yeah.
We want to see this. When are we going to get it?
No, we're gonna edit you out. Okay, we got Dick Divine. Who is he? His attorney. Now we're down here today talking to Leon. Come on. Yeah, well, yeah, it ain't hard to find a cop when you need one.
I have not indicted any of these guys.
Yeah,
At least until 8 o'clock tonight, they're safe. After that, all bets are off.
Okay, now you were a Leon Park boy?
Actually, our kids are. I grew up in St. Gertrude, south of here, so we weren't allowed up here. No, actually.
That's what's that? That's Granville and
Granville and Broadway. Yeah.
So your kids are down here now.
No, my kids were down here for years. Our daughter Karen was a guard, junior guard, and
you have a son down here?
No, they're all too old. But all our kids went through the Leon program, all 4. Great program, and
what years did they go through?
Karen, what years did you go through? Karen Devine.
Karen, come here.
Come over here.
I didn't know this was your dad.
Yes, my dad.
Yeah, what years did you go through the program?
From when I was 6 to about 28. I junior guard and lifeguarded, captain, all that kind of
And that
stuff.
wasn't over 30 years ago.
That was about 4 years ago. I retired.
I started down here 40 years ago.
Oh, no kidding.
Did you?
Yeah. With
Now-
Sam.
With Sam. I was here with Sam. Now, what was your favorite? One of your memories of this program?
My favorite memory was leader trips, of course.
Well, your dad's saying, yeah. There are still some actionable offenses.
Well, just working with all the guards and keeping these lifelong friends.
Now
It's
you went to
great.
Baraboo all the time, the Devil's Lake?
Baraboo. We did the leader trips and good friends, good times.
They used to.
They behaved themselves. There was no drinking.
Yeah.
That's what she told us.
We didn't drink, and you didn't drink either.
Never.
Nobody drinks in Baraboo. It's Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah, you can't drink them.
No bars up there.
Eat cheese, right? Eat cheese all day.
What?
It's part of my campaign.
What are you running for?
Eaters. I'm running for state's attorney again.
How's your chances look?
Well, if my daughter votes for me, I'm okay, but it's kind of iffy right now.
Okay, my name is Pat Hall. Okay, I just want you to remember that. Say what? Yeah. We have a radio show on Saturday night. Say, when I'm listening to radio, it's a couple of fat guys. 94.3.
Okay. When I listen to radio, it's a couple of fat guys. 94.3 on your FM dial. My name is Dick Devine. I'm the Cook County State's Attorney. They are not indicted today. They may be indicted soon.
And he loves every minute of it. Now, who's this here?
Bridget was a lifeguard.
Is this your daughter? Bridget, you were a lifeguard too down here. Well, I was one of Sam's guys. I was down here when Sam Leone was here, and this is your granddaughter. I mean, not your granddaughter, and your granddaughter. Who are you? Whose kid is this?
It's Bridget's kid. This is my mom.
Oh, so you're not a grandfather? Oh, and that baby going to come to the? There's still many people. Shut up! That kid going to come to the program? Aren't you sorry you missed this experience as a kid?
Absolutely. I would not have been the person I am except for missing it.
A wise guy, eh? And who's this right here? Kaylee. Hi, Kaylee. Are you? Whoa. Are you going to be in the program? Oh, I'm sorry. I terrified another youngster. She said, "That's Pat Hall. Get me away. Get me away."
She was a lifeguard for 15 years.
Oh, really? Okay. Come here. Now, you were a lifeguard for 15 years down here?
Not here for 15 years, but through the system. And then I came down here to work on the junior guard program.
I was a lifeguard in the junior guard program, too, when I was here. Well, what's one of your favorite memories of doing that?
Oh, I shouldn't. Oh, that's the leader trip.
Getting drunk on the leader trip.
And the grease pole.
No. Yeah, we had an event down here at the water on the water show. Well, when I was down here, it was a grease pole that stood up straight.
Oh, this was on the edge of the pier.
Right, it stuck on the edge of the pier, and you had to walk out on.
Put up with Murphy's oil and put dollar bills on the end.
Murphy soap, yeah. You put Murphy soap on it and put dollar bills on. Well,
and sometimes higher.
If you really want to rack someone up, they put a 20 out there.
Sure.
Now, did you ever walk the grease pole?
Of course.
Did you ever climb it? Did they ever have it when you climbed it down there? No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
That was really hard.
You're showing your age. I'm sorry.
I know, and I also got really milky thighs from all the Murphy soap. So what are you doing now?
I'm teaching.
Where are you teaching?
Armstrong School.
It's in Rogers Park.
Yeah, first grade.
So you couldn't get very far from your roots here.
I like the hood. Gotta stay here.
Now, where'd you work before you came here at the beach?
Actually, I worked at a pool, California pool at Mcfettridge.
So let me ask you a question. Whenever you're at the beach, are you still a lifeguard?
Yeah.
You stand on the edge of the water. Whenever you're not swimming, you stand on the edge of the water looking at all the kids.
Yep, it's very, very true. Or you're watching the lifeguards and making sure they're doing their jobs.
Well, now, what's your name?
Bridget.
Bridget Devine? Wait a minute.
Those are the Devines. I'm friends.
Man, you guys are trying to... Bridget, say your name again.
Bridget Sawchuck.
And you were a Leon Park Junior Guard program guard. Beautiful. This is a lot of fun down there today. We're seeing faces we never thought we'd see. We'll be back in a minute. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Where are you going? What's this for? This is
Channel 64.
This is your life. Yeah. Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I got some of the old crusty guys down here. Bob Mansfield. How you doing, Bob?
Good, Pat.
You know Sam? You know Sam?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, give me a memory of Sam.
Well, what I remember is, he was deaf, and for a while he was wearing a hearing aid. So the guys in the office, the captains and the mates, when they were talking to him, they would gradually lower their voices. So he'd crank up his hearing aid. Then all of a sudden they'd blurt something out, and we'd go on from there.
Well, we read that story in the paper about Rizzo standing in the other room mouthing what someone was talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Did you ever witness that little spectacular?
I never saw that. I heard the story, though. Yeah, I heard the story.
How long were you down there?
I never worked here when Sam was still alive. I worked North Avenue, Oak Street, Montrose, those beaches.
You were in the program?
No.
How'd you know Sam?
Just through the lifeguarding. Yeah. When I was at Montrose, he used to come down on the alert and pick me up and take me for a ride. So, that's about it.
He's pretty much the guy who started the scuba thing down here, right?
Oh yeah, he was one of the pioneers in diving, so he started out with it.
Chris Sherb was telling me that the early stuff they had down here was so primitive.
Pretty basic, yeah.
A tube and a bucket.
That was about it, yeah.
Now, Mr. Skipper.
Associate of Bob Mansfield.
Associate of Bob Mansfield, which I don't know why you bring that up. With
Me of Bob Mansfield and Pat Hall.
I don't know why you're bringing that up with a state's attorney in the room, but give me some memories of your experiences down here, leaving out the abuse.
Just what the drugs haven't washed out? Okay. Sam Leone, big guy, looked at you, scared you. You got older, you had more easygoing guys that would teach you things about life. Pat Hall, John Foran, guys like that, guys that cared about you, guys that would drive you home puking your guts out.
No. We loved our little chickens down here. Come on.
That's why you looked out for us. You made sure we got to the nest, you know?
I was going to ask you about some remembrance of some of your favorite people down here, besides Sam. Who else affected your life?
Well, there's Bob Mansfield, my sea daddy, the kind of guy who takes you under his wing, teaches you about scuba. It's Billy Mcdonald. He was here earlier. I think you learned through him. Pat, I got to say, somewhere when I die and go to heaven, I want to come back reincarnated. As what? Some people I've known.
My lifestyle is of the purest driven snow. Now, what are you doing for a living? What are you doing for a living now?
I work with a amazing trick dog. Yeah. He does wonderful things. He's an FAA certified dog. He smells explosive odor, and they used to teach him to sit. I've taught him when he smells odor, run. So I think I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah. So you were telling me before that it's the first time you ever had a partner, right?
Yeah. That didn't give me a lot of shit, you know.
Well, at least with this stuff you have to pick up with a little baggie.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to clean up after that dog out there?
Hey, you're in a uniform, you know. You can't claim somebody else did it.
How's that going?
Good, going very well. We've got a very good FAA team out here at O'Hare, and basically we're military out there. It's Department of Defense dogs. The training is done in Texas, several months out of your life devoted just to meeting the dog and working with him. Hey!
That was the dog throwing a cup at him.
Fan mail from the Peanut Gallery.
Now, I want to ask you, now I forgot what it was. How do you think your life would have been different without the program?
Geez, I tell you, the program was a different era and a different time when we did it. You were still growing up to different standards, and generally the standards were kind of high, but some of us slipped under the wire.
Well, I think I would have been a total hoodlum without this program.
Yeah, you wouldn't have discovered a lot about yourself. The water teaches you. Respect it or it kills you. A lot of things about life is learn to respect. It was a team.
Oh my God! He actually brought his partner with down here today. I think he's got something. Anyway, well,
if he runs, we're going with him.
Well, John's a respected member of the Chicago Police Department, and he worked down here in this neighborhood for years. Now he's out with bomb sniffing dogs. Marco! And I'd like to say he's a bro. John Skipper.
This is one great American. Pat Hall.
Boy, we're shifting the shit now. For National Cybercast. Rogers, Sam.
He's not here.
Who's here?
Jim, Sheila, and Kathy's on her way.
What about
John couldn't come because of a wedding. Brian's not here, and Kevin didn't come.
Why didn't Kevin come?
Kevin has a wedding. He has another wedding.
Well, we're going to talk about his ass then. Now, were you a program guard?
Yes, I was.
How long?
Oh, no. I was a regular lifeguard. I was in the program and a regular lifeguard.
Now, did you like the program?
I loved it.
We've talked to a lot of women down here that were the first ones that first year. Were you one of them?
I started in 1973, so I was 8 at the time.
2 or 3 years after it started. Now, what do you think you took away from this?
Just, really good swimming and boating skills, but a lot of self-confidence and good memories.
Yeah, you don't let men mess with you anymore after being down.
No, I was never intimidated by anything like that.
No, after this, you can't be intimidated. After you dove down at 35 feet, 4 miles out.
No, never been intimidated.
So what are you doing now?
I have 4 kids. I stayed home. My kids.
Great shape, and that probably comes from the program too, I would imagine. You just stay active the rest of your life.
Yes, that's true. I'd highly recommend it.
Did you know Sam? Did you ever meet Sam?
No, I never met
Never met Sam? But you heard a lot about Sam.
I heard a lot about Sam.
Well, he's got a hell of a legacy here.
Yes. Yeah.
One of the Rogers clan. What's your name again?
Tony Rogers.
Tony Rogers. We're going to go find some more Rogerses. Okay. What's your name?
Doug Varnes.
What are you doing for a living?
I'm a headhunter.
A headhunter. Wow. I usually expect them to be in the grass skirts with the little spears. Okay. Did you know Sam?
Very well.
And what are your fond memories of your time down here?
I'll tell you the funniest thing about Sam. I'll tell you a quick war story. 30-second war story. My first year on the beach was the last year of the Chicago beaches. That's what this is from, right? The second year, Sam called, and he said, you better call your godfather to make sure you get on because there's 2,500 guys going for 475 jobs. So I called my godfather. An hour later, Sam says, Jesus, you didn't have to get carried away. You're on the skeleton crew. You report today at 1 o'clock. And I was a rookie.
Oh, my God.
My godfather was Bill McFettridge. So it kind of helped.
Now, McFettridge, if most people don't know, that's what the Park District building is named after. And now, how did McFettridge get along with Sam?
Beautifully. We lived right down here at Tui and Paulina. So they were good buddies. Yeah.
And Sam, there was a lot of controversy with Sam when he wouldn't give the beaches back.
Well, that was their problem, not his.
That's for sure. I just remember going, no way.
No, I started down here when I was 6.
And what year was that?
1948.
And now you're a successful businessman.
No, I'm a junkie. I'm a drunk. I'm an alcoholic. I took right after Sam, you know. He was a sweetheart. And he's right. I read part of the book this morning, and he was like a second father to all of us. Great guy.
When I look back on my time I spent down here when he was here, and I was here after he died, too, all I remember is beautiful memories of the guy teaching me how to do stuff and pulling my ass out of the surf and showing me how to tie knots underwater.
There was one picture in the book with the aqualungs. I guess they don't do that anymore. We were doing those when we were 7 years old. I mean, it was great.
Right, and they were the crappiest aqualungs of all time.
But we were laughing about it today. You see the one picture with all the guys skiing behind it? If you fell down and you were at Fullerton, you walked back.
and what about the different? You would not be able to get away with what they got away with back then today in a program.
No.
Lawsuits up the yin yang.
Yeah. Well, that's why the pole's gone, I guess, and the monkey bars and everything else.
Yeah, the grease pole.
Liability. Yeah.
You ever walk the grease pole?
Yes, I did. Did I ever get the dollar? No, I didn't.
You look like a man who walked the grease pole from time to time. Well, thanks for talking to us, man.
Same here.
Story about Sam Leone and the legacy that he's left. What do you think we're doing? Come on, we interviewed Dick Devine. He's the state's attorney. You don't have to worry. What's your name?
Missy Polnitsky.
How long have you been a guard, Missy?
This is my 7th year.
And you've worked down at Leone the whole time?
Yes.
Now, you must have heard stories about Sam.
Many from Chris.
Chris Serb. Oh, yeah. Well, he heard them from someone else, too. Now, what was the story you heard from Sam that you really remember?
I just heard how he was a super good lifeguard and like all the things that he's done and why it's so important to like honor him and remember his birthday and everything.
He was a bad boy. He saved a pilot off the beach here one time. Did you ever hear that story?
Never.
A World War II fighter pilot on training mission went down, and he went out there and got him.
I never heard about that.
You ever had any jumps?
Me personally, no.
Now, you weren't in on the save last year down Sherwood? You were? Well, that's a jump.
I know that, but I've never personally on my beach have had a jump.
But you guys rallied down there that last year to save quite a few lives, like 9 people.
9 lives.
Were you in the water that day?
I was, after they had brought the first woman out who went under, I was out with her, checking her out, monitoring her, and helping clear the water.
You know, all those procedures and all the procedures you go through to, the safety procedures and the steps you go through to save lives and pull people out of the water and what you do afterwards, that's all from Sam.
Yes.
It's amazing what he did. I was a guard down here also. I was a lifeguard at the, how do you know?
How do I know what?
How do you know?
Because I heard you talking to someone else.
Oh, you're eavesdropping on my conversation.
No.
You don't want to be on camera, but you want to mess with me.
No, I heard you talking to Chris in the office.
So what do you do on the off season?
I go to school.
Now, do you have to take the test every year?
Yes, take it every year.
Now, what's the test now? Give me the.
Besides going through all the lifeguard training, like the classes and getting recertified, then you have to go to Whitney Young High School, and you.
That's tough in and of itself.
Yeah, you take a swim test, and then you go under the water and retrieve a brick, and you have to do holds on a person due to like a front release and a back release.
Now, what's the swim test?
You have to swim 8 lengths of the pool and 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Wow, that's about the same as it was then.
Mm-hmm.
And you always do well?
Yes.
So they always make you save a big guy?
Pretty much so, the biggest. Yeah.
I was telling him the story when I was down here taking a test every year. They had a guy named Glenn Smith, weighed 300 pounds. He was a lifeguard, he was a captain, he was a wrestler, he was solid muscle. And he would be the guy, after you did the 8 lengths, after you did the underwater, pick up the brick, then you had to come out and do some calisthenics. Did you still do that?
No.
We had to do some calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, and stuff like that, keep your wind up. Then we had to swim the length of the pool and grab Glenn Smith and drag him. And he fought like a demon. Now, when you save these people in the pool, do they fight?
Yeah. I got a pretty big nosebleed after it this year.
You got nailed?
Yeah, in the nose.
And how much do you weigh?
I don't know.
You don't know how much you weigh? How much do you think she weighs?
105.
105, and you pulled a big man out of the water. You did it too. Come here. Come here. How long have you been? What's your name?
Maureen Lally.
How long have you been a lifeguard?
This is my 4th summer.
Were you the Owen Park Junior Guard?
No, my sister was.
Oh, really? What's her name?
Siobhan. She doesn't work here anymore.
So you like being guard?
Yeah, I love it.
You ever had any saves?
No.
Were you in on the Sherwin Beach?
No, everything bad that happened on a Sunday, and that was my day off last week.
I know. I always swim down there. I'm always the guy you're going, you're going to drown, sir. But
I've seen you before.
Yeah. I'm always the guy going, that big guy is going to go on. Yeah.
I've seen him.
Uh-oh. No, I'm kidding. Where's it? We got a junior guard. We're going to talk to this junior guard here. Come on. Okay, we got an actual Leon Park Junior Guard. What's your name, ma'am?
Kim Fitzpatrick.
Kim Fitzpatrick. That's a very familiar sounding name. Did you ever have any of did you have any brothers or sisters? Were you a guard down here? Your husband was? Yeah. Come here. And what was his name?
Robert.
How old is he?
47.
I think I remember him. He was down here was he down here?
Yeah, he was along on the north side.
Yeah. Oh, my God. And now you're a junior guard. Do you like it?
Yeah.
How long have you been in the program?
3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years. You don't know. You had a blackout?
I don't know.
Now you're a good rower?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about the program?
I like to paddleboard.
Oh, the paddleboard. Now what's that? The kickboard?
Yeah. Well, no, it's the paddleboard where you surf on, like.
Oh, you like surfing? Yeah, that was one.
Paddleboard we got in the gym.
So you go out in the water, and when the waves come in, you.
Well, not really. We just paddle out, like far out, and we just hang out.
How far?
Well, near the buoy, maybe.
Oh, God, we got an emergency. How far out?
Maybe near, like, the buoy or something.
You go out by the buoy?
Well, maybe a little bit in.
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind if you go out there. I go out there all the time myself. Do you get scared out there?
No. Because I know how to swim real good. Because on Tuesday and Thursday, I go to a NASA program, Northwestern, and it's a swimming program, so I really know how to swim good.
Have you passed your 220 yet?
Yeah, I did.
Really? Have you?
First day.
She passed her 220. That for people who don't know, the 220 is 3 times from one end of the beach to the other, and that's how you get to come in back in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
And you like the afternoons better?
Yeah.
Yeah, the afternoon's fun down here. You go sailing. I always see you guys out there goofing around in the boats in the afternoon. How come you never asked me to go out rowing or something? I'm an old guard. They never let me back in the boats now.
I don't know.
If you put in a good word for me, can you get me in, you think?
No. Talk to Mary.
No, you got to talk to Mary. Just tell her Pat all wants to go rowing some afternoon.
All right.
Do that for me?
Yeah. Maybe.
You want to be a guard?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
9.
Well, you got a ways to go, but oh, yeah, well, that's where that extra year came in. Yeah, the 3 or 4 years, you're 9 and a half. Well, good luck, though, dear. I'd hope to see you out there saving my life someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, take it easy. Miller, ready to go? Jim Miller, we're sitting on the old sawhorse. This old sawhorse has been down here ever since Jesus lost his sandals.
Probably has some of the old saw cuts on it from when we were working on the boat.
And probably some blood, too, from when people put their hand on the wrong side of the blade. Now, tell me your fond remembrances of Tui Beach.
I started in Tui Beach. I lived over here at 1201 Chase, right next to the playground, and pretty much could roll out of bed, fall down the stairs, and was out here. My first real memories were at the end of World War II, when my dad bought a 16-man rubber assault raft, and we brought it over here, and Sam tried to get all the lifeguards to see if they could tip it over. You cannot tip over one of those assault rafts, but they tried for an entire afternoon in the middle of a northeaster to do it.
With people in it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they had as many as 30 guards on the thing trying to tip it over. They couldn't do it.
There was something about Sam. He liked to build boats. He liked to have great boats, like the crew boat. The crew boat was down here when you were here. And for some reason, everything he had, he wanted to see if he could tip it over. And the crew boat was also something that we tipped over. Did you guys was it started when you were down here?
No, the crew boat came after the 16-man raft, but I remember when we bought the crew boat and hauled it over here on a trailer, and we brought it into the shop, started looking for rot, and what we found was pretty much the oarlocks and the pintles on the rudder on the stern were okay. Everything else was rotten. We had to rebuild the frame, all of the ribs, virtually all of the planking, the decking. It was a displacement hull, and a displacement hull by definition can only go a certain speed as determined by a formula, which for that boat was about 6 miles an hour. Sam put 2 wells in there, and we dropped 25-horse Evinrudes in, fooled the boat into thinking it was a round bilge planing hull. That sucker would go almost 20 miles an hour.
The boat wasn't very smart. It didn't know what it could do.
Not at all. Sam built my boat. I had a 12-foot aft cockpit race boat. When his son Phil died, I wound up with Phil's Class F racing hydroplane and the Crosley race engine that went with it. Never did finish the boat. Finally gave it back to Sam when I was about 18. My dad was one of the major contributors of that Chrysler Hemi that went into the boat when the Prowler beat him. Sam didn't take getting beat kindly. Chris says that the Alert was about 22 feet long, and maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's a kid thing. Seemed to me like it was somewhere around 26, 27. It was a triple cockpit hacker, had burned to the water line in the Chicago River, and the story that I grew up with was Sam went down to put a line on it to bring it up to the surface, and in so doing broke his eardrums, and that's where the deafness came from. Long, narrow boat, nice V'd bottom, unlike the Chris Crafts, which would beat your brains out if you tried them on Lake Michigan. Sam could run wide open in that thing in a nor'easter.
Flat.
Yeah. But it would cut into the waves. He redesigned the hull using a lot of the concepts from a Dr. Lindsay Lord, Theory of Planing Hulls. I have Sam's book on that one with all of his underlining and my underlining. There's a picture out here of when of the Alert spelled backwards, Trella, and that's when he took one of the first fiberglass boats that was available. It was like an old aluminum, round bottom, crappy fishing boat. Decided to put ventilated steps with scoops on the gunnels in it, transformed the boat. Went from being maybe a 20-mile-an-hour boat to a 40-mile-an-hour boat with 25 horsepower. The guy really was an uneducated genius, except for, hey, it looks like it's going to work.
Well, now, I remember the Trella. You could never keep the thing upright.
It tended to be a little squirrely. It was real sensitive because what happens is when you have ventilated steps, there's no purchase of the hull on the water. And she was still kind of round bottom, and she tended to roll over.
I remember that boat flipping over. Every time they took it out, someone would flip that boat over.
Well, if you tried to turn it a little too radically, you know, she was good in a straight line.
Now, what did you take away from this program?
I'm an absolute boating nut. I probably spent more time with Sam than I did with my father, working with my hands, the issue of honesty, integrity, and maybe loving life. Sam, if nothing else, was a lifelong Italian, and because, of course, he was deaf, he could never tell when he was talking too loud, which when you add, well, a deaf Italian talks really, really loud. Sort of like this. Okay. He's a wonderful man. He loved all of us. To this day, I can't talk about his passing away in 1965 or when Phil died when I was 14 in 1955 without starting to break up. And I don't know what that is. I've talked to some other guys here that I haven't seen for 20 or 30 years tonight, and they all kind of report the same thing.
Well, I feel the same way. I came down here, and I was with Sam for a few years before he died, and my dad sent me here, and when he sent me here, he said, Sam will straighten you out. And he probably took me from one path to another. He took me from a kind of a crooked path to a straight path. And ever since then, anyone who knows me for more than 20 minutes knows about Sam Leone, because I tell every story I can think of whenever I talk to people about it.
There's one guy who wasn't able to make it tonight that was part of my group, a guy by the name of Dan Pasoja. And Dan's mother had committed suicide. He found her when he came home from school. He was about 15 at the time, was rapidly becoming a juvenile delinquent, was out of control. Sam straightened him out, went on to become one of the top 10 metallurgists in the world. He's a leading mathematician in the United States to this day. His kids are incredible, and he basically says that Sam saved his life, and I have no doubt about that. I talked to Danny yesterday. He was really sorry he couldn't be here, but he said, let him know Sam saved my life and tell him how much that I really owe him. I love him.
Well, you did, and I'm sure he saved a lot of lives down here. We're talking to Jim Miller. Thank you very much, Jim. Okay, we got a Rogers, we got a Goldman, we got a Colleran, and we got a Goldman. Now you're her.
I am the father of the one in the middle.
Now, how do you think that changed her to be a junior guard down here?
Oh, I think it gave her a lot of confidence in her ability to achieve anything she wanted to achieve. And as you are probably going to talk about, these three girls were the first girls to get into the program, and I think that gave her the confidence to do anything, because I have to tell you, they bucked up a lot of odds.
Oh yeah,
as you remember.
Well, the whole thing was you didn't want it to happen, right? You didn't want women to be in the program, and we talked. Wait till I hand you the mic, okay? And we talked to Kavanaugh, and she said she had to do battle with you. So why didn't you want the program if you have women in it?
Well, I just thought the history of Sam Leone, that it was an all-boys program. I had two older brothers that were in the program, and I just felt Sam had done such a wonderful job with the boys. There was Loyola, there was Potawatomi. Let the boys have their own thing. So we went up in front of Rogers Park Community Council. Ann won. I lost. I was the first girl to join up for the program.
And now, were you aware of this battle?
I was totally oblivious to this. I could just remember watching my brother as a little 3-year-old on the crew boat going back and forth, and my mother having to explain why girls can't be in the program. And I don't think she ever really fully explained it to me, because one day we were in it, and that's all news to me.
You wanted to row the crew boat and flip it over?
I wanted to do it. I knew I could do it. Yeah.
And what about you, Miss? Roger. I know who you are. They always call it dramatic pause. Did you ever go see Shakespeare? Excuse me. Now I know your brother, Kevin, and I know your. Oh.
Whose interview is this?
You know, this is what happens when you let women in the program. You're right. I know your brothers, Kevin and Brian. I was really close with Kevin because we were same age, and we caused much havoc and mayhem down here, as well as getting all the self-confidence that Sandy was talking about. What did you take away from this?
Pretty much what Sandy Goldman had said. I think a lot of the things that we learned down here was that we were no different from the boys. We were never treated any differently. We had the same responsibilities. We had the same chores to do, whatever you want to say. They never treated us any differently, which probably made us stronger, because in a lot of instances, we beat the boys. And it made them work harder because they didn't want to be shown up by the girls.
Well, you see, and that's, I think, why a lot of the boys didn't want the girls in the program. I think that's one of the fears, is that they were going to make the guys look bad in competitions. Because were you a good oarsman?
Oh, yeah. I was in the water show one year as one of the lifeguard representatives. As one of the lifeguard representatives in a water show.
Wait a minute, we got trouble here. Who are these two guys?
This is Bobby Miller, Tony Rogers. This is my nephew, Bobby. Tony Rogers went through the program, and this is George Rogers. My brother Jim went through the program.
Okay. Are you guys in the program?
I don't know.
You're not in the program? You're not a junior guard?
Not yet.
Are you a junior guard?
No.
How old are you?
8.
You don't know how old you are?
What?
What? How old are you?
8.
You're 8. How old are you?
George.
How old are you?
9.
You sure?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Now, do you want to be a program junior guard?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Have you ever talked to her about it?
No.
They live in suburban Chicago.
Oh, they don't have stuff like that out there. Well, someday maybe they'll find a program that good. You like being on camera now? Yeah. Is it fun? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. Say something to the National Cyber Cat.
Go.
How did I know that was coming? Now, what are you doing now?
I'm a teacher now.
Where?
At Union Ridge School. It's in Howard Heights. Indoor person now. One thing, can I tell you about what the boys felt? One of the things you talked about with what the boys were, their fears. The real world, the girls are playing with the boys now, and we're surpassing them in most things we do.
Did you ever go on a leader trip?
Yes, many times.
Okay,
Let's not.
Come on. Now, you must have heard about the leader trips. Can I finish my train of frickin' thought here? You must have heard about the leader trips when you were little from their brother.
Which is why we wanted to go.
Oh, you must have got inklings of it, though.
Were not shared at what happened on
That
leader
was
trips.
part of the reason why the girls were so anxious to get into the program and follow behind their brothers, because they wanted to know what the secrets were that their brothers kept talking about.
And when you finally got to go on a leader trip, you all three went on leader trips, right? Well, what'd you think?
Spider-Man. At Devil's Door. Larry, I can't remember. Larry
Rubin.
Devil's Doorway. He was able to climb Devil's Doorway. We all had gotten up to that point, and we watched Larry get to the top, and most of us thought he'd fall to his death. But
did you climb it?
Not Devil's Doorway, but the rest of Devil's Mountain.
That's where he got the name Spider-Man.
I climbed Devil's Doorstep. Yeah, it's just, yeah.
I remember the drain pipe, and I was always kind of smaller than the others, and they always had to take me and hand me down the drain pipe because I couldn't reach all the proper footing, and that's kind of...
It was kind of scary. It was very scary. It's scary even now. Did you?
Sundays. That was very odd for me.
I will tell you a story off camera about that. Now, did you ever do the doorway?
Did the doorway.
You got up the doorway?
With much help. Chris Tancre was up at the top. He was always the first one up there, and the guys would stand and hold your feet and bump you up.
Well, Tancre was a monkey.
He was great.
Now, have you ever heard from him?
Through my brothers.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's out in I think Seattle or something, or Colorado or something. And you guys all turned out pretty good. Do you have any kids?
No, I don't.
Oh, you didn't turn out good. Do you have any? How many kids you got?
I have 3.
3 kids, following mom's footsteps.
Troublemakers, yes.
She said your mom said she wouldn't have known what she could have done without the program.
The program was the most wonderful experience. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to come down here. It was a big family. All the guys were wonderful. When I went on to be a lifeguard, it was great because I always felt safe on the beach. If you needed help, those guys were right there. They supported you. They were wonderful. It was the best experience in my life.
Now, when you're at the beach, are you still a lifeguard?
Always. You can't get that out of your system, and you want to go up to these kids and say, the lifeguard told you to move over now. Move it.
No boat rides. Yes, all the things.
No balls in the water, which confuses a lot of men. Now, are you still a lifeguard at the beach?
Yeah, always.
When you get done swimming, you never bring a blanket with you. Just. Are you still a lifeguard?
No. But I want to tell you this, Pat. An awful lot of the boys and the girls who moved out to the suburbs and started programs very similar to the one Sam has. I can call from Lake Forest south. There are beach programs, and they're being run by former San Leon lifeguards.
That's a heck of a legacy. And I was told that junior guard programs after Sam sprung up all over the country, and now there's huge competitions. Were you guys down here when the competition was going? Well, Serb told me competitions all over the country. They send a team from Leon Park and it does. Oh,
We did the boating. I remember doing the boating because we were the first. We were the first girls in the boat program, and I know we had gotten second or third place, which really blew some of the guys away.
What?
I got to perform in a water show. Really? Lost the race, but that's another story.
So
The program survived some very serious problems in competition to the Park District when the Park District wished to come and take over the program, and Sam said, I can't hear you, because Sam was deaf. And he said, you know, I don't hear you, and it's never going to happen. And he called together a parents organization, and the parents organization became very strong in keeping the Sam Leone Junior Lifeguard program going right here in Rogers Park. And the Park District always wanted to take it over. I'm not quite certain what the situation is today, how influential the Park District is, but it remained an independent entity with all these kids really getting the lessons that Sam wanted to teach.
And you're right. And see, now you didn't want to talk, and now you told us an amazing story of. I mean, they've kept this program running for how many years now?
Oh, this program, I met a man here today who said he was in this program in 1933. I didn't check his dates, but I think it's that far until today.
And I was happy to be a part of it. I made a man out of you girls. Thank you. We'll be back to you.
Kevin Healy.
Kevin Healy. Now, you were a junior guard, weren't you?
I was indeed. I started at age 4.5, I believe.
No way.
Oh, sure.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, actually, Bunny Mcdonald told me that Sam insisted that I learn how to water ski before I was 5.
Because of your brothers?
Because of my brothers. I am the last of 4 brothers who went here.
I knew Frank real well. He's around here somewhere today, too.
Yes, he was.
I'll have to snag him later. So what's it, Father? Give me a good remembrance of Sam and the whole experience.
I'm sure you remember this, jumping off the back of the Alert.
Oh, yeah.
Your trucks end up around your ankles, but you get caught in the turbulence.
You're lucky if that's all that ends up around your ankles.
But it was skiing 12s and 14s and behind the Alert, and hopefully when you were skiing behind the trellis, it didn't turn over.
We talked about that.
Right.
So, now, were you ever in? I'm sure you were, but I'm going to ask you about it because we haven't talked about it yet. Flipping the crew boat.
Yes, they had 2 wells, as you remember, in the middle of the boat, and what we would do was it was an emergency procedure in case the children would know how to react if a boat tipped over. So we would intentionally flip the boat over, and
40-foot lifeboat.
A 40-foot, yeah, it was off of like a steamer of some sort. But we would flip the boat over, and everybody knew to hold onto the seats with the boat flipped over and wait till it was completely flipped over before you released and swam around. Nobody ever got hurt.
Now, in between the deck and the hull, Sam had pumped foam so the boat wouldn't sink when it tipped over.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, that's why it didn't sink.
So you spent more time with
Yeah, well, yeah, I did. And when we'd flip the boat, we'd put some beach balls in the wells. So when the boat flipped over, the beach balls would shoot out of the wells from the pressure. One day, you were probably in on this, but you don't remember it because.
That was a wee fella.
Yeah, well, you weren't younger than me. Well, how old are you?
I'm old enough to know better than to answer that question.
What are you, 45 or something?
I am, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were younger than me. I don't remember that. Oh, we used to beat the crap out of you.
I wasn't one who I wasn't old enough to remember the airplane crash on the lake that I saw you on TV a short time.
It was chaos. I'm telling you, chaos. But
Man's a fine man. Don't let the TV blow this out of proportion. But he's a fine man.
Now, one time we rode this boat, and I think we had Adams and midgets and leaders in the boat. We had the boat off of Rogers Beach, and we decided to pull a tip off Rogers Beach. So we stored the oars, put the oars under the seats and everything, and tipped the boat over. And according to the volume that we heard from Sam later, he got about 4,700 phone calls.
Children drowning on the lake.
The boat's over, send help! And of course,
helicopters.
The alert's coming out, everything's coming out. And Sam, I think he must have known what happened, and then we also would flip it back. How'd you flip it back?
I have no remembrance of that.
Remember the little railing that ran along the bottom? We'd climb up. Everybody from the boat would climb back up, grab a hold of the railing and walk the boat back over, and it would just slowly tip back over. We'd get back in, put the covers back on the wells, and row away.
You have a better memory than I do, sir.
Maybe I should.
The flip shot, but that's it.
Now, were you ever one of the 12 skiers? I'm sure you were.
Well, over the years, either the skiers got lighter or the boat got more powerful, and he would increase it to 12, 14, 16, and I did have an opportunity to do that. My brothers were more prolific skiers than I was.
But that was an incredible feat if you're on the lakefront to see the alert going by with 14 skiers behind it.
Exactly, and before the Air and Water Show was the Air and Water Show, it was the Lakefront Festival. And it was rowing, it was hydroplane races, no really much of an air show, maybe sea and rescue. But the highlight of the show was Sam having 12 to 14 skiers behind one boat.
And he never pulled the transom out of that bad boy.
Not at all.
Talking to Kevin Healy, one of my old buds from down here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're very influential in putting this whole McGilla together.
Somebody had a fine idea, so they had a fine idea and we ran with it. So.
Whose idea was it?
It was a conglomeration. It was a group of half-wits that got together that just had to say.
Made up a whole wit.
Sure, yes. And, the five of us there, we did it. So Chris Serb was talking about it. He had an idea about putting together a book. He told me that it was going to be Sam's birthday. We needed a date, and lo and behold, this is it, man. And well, it just couldn't work out any better.
I tell you, I've seen so many old friends down here. Every time I turn around, I'm seeing another face from the past. And there's a great shot of you in that book. Look like you're taking the biggest crap of all time doing a pull-up.
But of course, that was my 80th chin-up there, so it had.
Before I talked to you, said it was your 15th.
See, it's the exponential component
exponential
here.
thing there,
so,
I know you have many memories of this place.
Definitely.
What's your fondest memory about Diamond?
Excellent. Well, stop right there. This rope leading from the.
Oh, that's where we tried to hang you.
Well, no, actually, I'd make my appearance into here at late night, trying to open a back door and seeking carnal knowledge with. I cannot divulge.
So you would come in the window?
But yeah, I'd get up on the roof over here. I'd pull in the other skylight, and that was my rope that I put up there, and it's still there.
The rope is still there.
Still there.
It's kind of short. It's about 10 feet short.
This is the thing. It's 22 years ago.
I was taller.
We threw a party, and I didn't throw the party, but I was here, and this is the last time that we had a spectacular event. And this time, we actually got sanctioned. We got the permits. We got insurance.
You're talking about the Leon 11.
Yes, sir. That's the last party that was here.
Tell the story of that. You got a little bit of time left.
Well, okay. I was a mini kid, 16 years old. There used to be a bandsaw right over here that I was requested or recruited to cut lemons and limes off of. That was necessary for the garbage punch that was made that day.
They were cutting the limes on a bandsaw. So yeah, the Leon 11 party was a pretty successful party.
Well, it was the last time that we put kegs in canoes, which you've seen today. We haven't done that in 22 years.
And what was the upshot of the Leon 11 party?
We were narrowly arrested. Those that could run fast enough, and got the hell out of here in time.
Now, what was the 11 that got cracked?
Let's see. John Skipper was one. Larry Rubin.
Spider-Man.
Yes. God. I'm looking for more. I think Pat Kelly and Neil Skipper were part of that. I can't remember who else was gainfully employed at the time, but they suffered their hits. So, but they've come back.
I used to have a T-shirt from that.
Certainly, yes. It's free to the Leon 11 that will go down in infamy.
Well, see, I think in some ways, and I don't mean to give you a compliment, so we can always cut this part. We can cut this part out, but in a lot of ways, you really do represent the heart and soul of what went on down here.
Hey, this is a great place. The neighborhood's changed, and there are a few things that are still around that were here 20, 30 years ago.
It's no longer the island of male dominance because there's women in the program now. But some of the women were telling me they regularly beat the guys at rowing and swimming and all the wrestling. And
well, my sister Eileen Bubba Colleran was one of those foremost that could kick the living shit out of anybody that wanted to take her.
Bubba Colleran, she's gonna love that. So what's next?
Well, because of the weather, there were testimonials that were expected to be delivered that weren't. There were a lot of guys that came down, a lot of the older crew that wanted to give a dissertation that weren't able to. What I plan on doing is I want them to write them down, send them to me. Everybody that registered today, we're going to send it out in the mail to them. We'll put together, just an epilogue to Chris's book.
And maybe we'll when you get all those testimonials together, we'll come on over to your house and you can read them in front of the camera.
Oh yeah. I mean, we'll start up with anything for a party. I mean, now that we're in a good grace of the Park District, what the hell? Why not?
It ain't over yet, Pat.
I know. I still got to clean this fucker up. So
it's a good thing it rained.
That's right. Hey, we had parking's never been like this, so it worked out great.
Well, I'm going to shake your hand. You did a great job.
When I first met you, you were holding my feet and tossing me off of the cement pier. So we've come a long way, and
as I said, it's a good thing it's raining.
Fond memories here. So yeah, we're doing some more. Pat, thanks.
Pat Colleran, the architect of this great event today. Well, that's about it. Leon Park Beach Junior Guard program turned out some maniacs and some judges, some state's attorneys' daughters. They all got the coppers. You're a copper? Where you a copper at?
I'd go into the witness protection program on that, but it is a suburb due north.
Oh, not Park Forest.
No, thank you.
Where? Come on. Well, I want to know where I can get. I want to know where I can get away with murder, so I'll just go there when I'm. Anyway, the Junior Guard program was unique in Chicago, and now has spread across the entire United States, and to the point where they actually compete with other Junior Guard programs. But this was the original. This was the Captain Nemo submarine of the Junior Guard system, which is now worldwide probably. I'm Pat Hall. I was a guard down here. And we're out. I got to go for a swim. Talk to you later.